This is Plant-Based Briefing, Disrupting Dairy, How One Former Cow Farm Successfully Shifted to Oat Milk Production by Tatiana von Rheinbaben at surgeactivism.org. And I'm Marian Erickson, host of this curated content plant-based podcast, where I narrate a variety of articles on plant-based and vegan living with permission in about 10 minutes or less every weekday. Today's article is from Surge, a nonprofit grassroots animal rights organization. Their philosophy is that change comes through vegan education, with media content and campaigns, as well as educational programs and investigative work. Ed Winters, known as Earthling Ed, is the co-founder and co-director of Surge. So now let's get to today's plant-based briefing. Disrupting Dairy, How One Former Cow Farm Successfully Shifted to Oat Milk Production by Tatiana von Rheinbaben at surgeactivism.org. Can oat milk production really disrupt dairy and provide a viable alternative to animal farming? Jenny DeLeo and Tati von Rheinbaben from Refarmed talk us through the latest news from Jay and Katya Wild of Bradley Nook Farm. British farmers Jay and Katya Wild made national headlines a few years ago when they decided to give up livestock farming. And much has been made of their transition as a case study for real and meaningful change. This was a monumental decision for them. The family farm, Bradley Nook Farm in Ashburn, Derbyshire, had shifted from conventional dairy to producing organic beef in 1997 before Jay inherited it in 2011. But 6 years later, Jay reached a point where he could no longer bear taking the cows to slaughter, cows he'd come to recognize as sentient individuals. With the help of the Vegan Society's Grow Green campaign and the Vegan Organic Network, the Wilds rehomed a large part of their herd to Hillside Animal Sanctuary in Norfolk and started the process of transitioning to planting crops. Their story was the subject of filmmaker Alex Lockwood's BAFTA-winning documentary, 73 Cows. That caught the attention of Geraldine Stark, founder of the startup Refarmed, which assists dairy farmers in shifting to plant-based milk production. Refarmed provides farmers with the equipment, training, logistics, marketing, and ongoing support for producing their own oat milk. The ingredients are organic and sourced locally. The oat milk comes in reusable, returnable glass bottles. Quote, "We were impressed with the concept as it doesn't condemn farmers, but allows them to make a living while being able to gradually change their daily routine, the management of their land, and their attitude towards animals, farming, and themselves," unquote, said Jay. Fast forward to December 2020, and Jay and Katya have launched their own organic oat milk in the Midlands region of the UK. What can be learned from this transition and the growing farm shift movement? It is important to keep in mind that Refarmed is a young startup. The small team plus the dedicated volunteers have a lot of work to manage and some key questions to answer. Like, how can the oat milk making machinery be improved? What ingredients can we find locally for the new recipes? What is the best way to transport the milk? Who are the key customers to approach, at least in the beginning? Plus many more. However, by working closely with Bradley Nook Farm and others, and by learning together, as with any working relationship, every question answered adds to a comprehensive yet adaptable model that we can take to other farms. At the moment, Refarmed is working on improving and streamlining the whole model and oat milk production before actively engaging with new farms. Currently, Refarmed's approach works best on small farms, but it can be scaled up with some time and adjustments. The farmers have also started sharing with the team some of the life struggles they face. This includes managing all their work and projects in a timely manner and filling out the paperwork for all their projects, such as organic certification applications and food safety sheets. Without any real background in the agricultural world, Refarmed relies on the intelligence we gain from farmers and other experts they contact to learn how to be as supportive as possible. It often feels like taking an introductory but intense course in farm management. Regarding the social aspect of shifting from beef and dairy to oat milk production and plant-based farming, the farmers have received mixed reactions. Some neighboring farmers have been quite supportive and shown genuine interest in the oat milk production process, while other neighbors have been skeptical of the changes. How disruptive is Refarmed to the dairy industry? Because Refarmed is only working with small-scale farmers for the moment, the company is not yet helping the biggest polluters and most harmful farms, those being the large-scale factory farms. On these farms, a shift will be a lot more challenging, but doable nonetheless. Rather than disruptive, perhaps the fact that dairy farms can become oat milk producers is more about bringing back the tradition of the milkman delivering fresh milk around town. Just in this case, it's oat milk. The whole idea of turning dairy farms into oat milk farms is to help farmers shift within the industry to more sustainable, cruelty-free production practices, while at the same time also bringing in more income than would have dairy. The whole farm shift movement, refarmed included, is not about going against cow and dairy farmers, but rather about working with the farmers to help them shift in a way that benefits everybody. The farm shift movement is still in its infancy, but startups like Refarmed are pioneering models that actually work to make transitioning a reality for farmers who are facing up to the truth. No model is perfect, and every case is different, but these projects are uniquely adaptable thanks to small and dynamic teams willing to learn from the farmers themselves in a two-way process. Animal agriculture is unsustainable, whether it is the large-scale intensive factories polluting our countryside or the small family-run farms, also detrimental to the environment, but at the mercy of supermarkets and barely subsisting on government handouts. Shifting and diversifying is the only way farmers can ever hope to continue being the custodians of the land that they claim to be, making a living from the country as generations have done before them. Oat milk is just one alternative for farmers to transition towards. For more ideas, check out the Surge Milk, This Is Your Moment campaign, linked here, and download the Farmer Pack. Though more applicable to UK farms, this pack can be used as a guide for farmers in other countries who want to shift and would like to find similar options. And Surge is working on more farmer packs for other countries at the moment. You just listened to Disrupting Dairy, How One Former Cow Farm Successfully Shifted to Oat Milk Production by Tati von Rheinbaben at surgeactivism.org. And I'm Marian Erickson, your host, and this is such a beautiful story. I also recommend watching that documentary. It's only 15 minutes long, called 73 Cows. You can find it free on YouTube, and I'll put a link in the show notes as well. And I love success stories like this. Another, Elmhurst 1925, is an American company who also switched from dairy farming. They'd been dairy farmers since 1925, and in 2017 switched to become a plant-based milk company. You can check them out at elmhurst1925.com. And there are a number of amazing organizations like Refarmed who are helping farmers transition to plant farming. Some others include the Rowdy Girl Sanctuary's Rancher Advocacy Program, Miyoko's Dairy Farm Transition Program, Transformation Project, and the Brave New Life Project focuses on skills to help workers transition out of animal ag. There's more and more all the time, but I'll put links to those in the show notes if you want to check them out. And please share this episode with anyone who might benefit, and thanks for listening.